All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is how we start all the videos. But this is a nice turn of events for a change for the Gen 2 Billet 7875 testing on Andrew's truck. So, I thought this would be a great case scenario to test this turbo as an upgrade because Andrew has the Gen 1 and we have made like 821 rear wheel, and that's like squeezing this thing for all it's worth. But we were like, this is incredible, 8 and change rear wheel. This is awesome. I don't know if we can even do any better than this. And we tried and we never could. So that was 6-liter and E85 and locked up 4L80E and about 820 rear wheel. Standard correction. So I got the Gen 2 Billet 7875 from Varen, and I was like, man, what would be the best way to test this? And I'm like, man, I'm most of the way through my Mustang project. I can't justify the cost entirely for the Billet 7875, and I won't know if it's a good upgrade because this is kind of a fresh slate build. We won't be able to tell if it was a gain and how much of a gain it was. So ultimately, I thought in my head, well, we could put it on Andrew's truck because he has a Gen 1 already, and this would be the only upgrade we do to it. We would leave everything else the same, and we have back pressure and like 30 dyno pulls already. So his would be excellent to put the Gen 2 on and do all of the cross-examination and test the results. So that's what we did. Anyway, long story short, we set up the first time to throw it on the dyno. He was finally finished, and Deal had a fire and burned most of the building, and we could not get there for obvious reasons. So then we chose a couple dates after. I moved the appointment to Maple Grove Auto. He graciously gave me some space, and we threw Andrew's truck on and made 2 dyno hits, and partway through dyno pull number 2, it spit the drive shaft out and broke the transmission bell housing. More than the bell housing, I think it might have cracked the entire case, but it only spit the drive shaft and shattered the bell on the transmission. So yeah. Fast forward a little bit later, he has made sure everything is good, and we have tossed it on the roller again, finally for some results, and some of you might have caught it. We'll give you a little spoiler now. It made 100 extra rear wheel to the tire on the dyno. So that's incredible. People were saying anywhere from 150 horsepower. 100 rear wheel is what VS Racing advertises, and that's exactly what we were able to hit without straining. And we'll go over the details, more into this video. Okay, so now we're going to go over everything that we learned. So the big thing here is this is the same size dyno, and we're 2 software revisions away from each other basically. I run WinPep 7, and this newer dyno that Chris has runs 8, but luckily the files can be viewed on each. So what's awesome is we can see here it made approximately 818. So this was the big number. This is what we struggled with all day. And then this is what we easily threw down at Maple Grove on the loaded dyno. So this was like letting the car sit and messing with ignition all the way up into the end to get the absolute highest number we could, which was approximately 820 rear wheel, I remember. So 818 is what I'm seeing. And then we made 912 and we were out of injector duty cycle. So this is the gain right here to the tire. I'm sure we could make more than this 912 if we really just kept leaning, but again, like I said, we were out of injector and we were happy enough with the 100 rear wheel gain. That's significant. We were very pleased. So we'll get rid of the run files, and it shifted on me. So first couple rolling in and out of it, we made 559. Well, let's take a look at the logs, shall we? Sorry. So roll in, this was lean, about 14 pounds, 12 degrees, made 625 rear wheel, 14 pounds, 16 degrees, 642. So not much of a gain on a bunch of degrees. I thought it would pick up big time, but this is one of those things you learn on a dyno. I was like, man, this thing is probably going to take a ton of ignition, and boom, it did not. And partly I think that was because this new turbo has a 4-inch downpipe, and he had the 3-inch exhaust on it with the loud valve, and he had made a 4-inch dump so we could take absolute gain of the 4-inch exhaust, because I think most of the gain is a little bit of the compressor side and a little bit of the exhaust side, so it needs both. So for fun, he put it on his complete 3-inch drop-in, and it for sure made more, but the horsepower per pound started to fade here, so we ended up getting rid of the 3-inch exhaust and went right to the 4-inch dump pipe that he had made. You can see that in some of the videos where we changed it, and you can hear the difference. It got much louder. Also, I put on headphones after we put the dump on it because it was extremely loud. So we'll go towards the end here and we'll take a look at the logs. I don't think I have his back pressure channel working. We're actually logging back pressure on this car. EGR fuel tank. See, I think he's using fuel tank for back pressure and EGR for fuel pressure. So I don't have his math channels, but rest assured, fuel pressure was struggling a little bit at the end, and back pressure was 2-to-1 at the end. So right here, decent 1180 air fuel, 240 kPa. Everything was doing really good. So 21 pounds, 12 degrees. This car did not like much ignition. I'm not sure what's up with that. Also, we noticed, which one was this? Which pull? 7, do they correlate? Kinda, sorta. So we noticed that sometimes the power would hang in and sometimes it would start to dip as we went up. I don't know if this is back pressure or something with the combination just not working after a certain RPM. I expected this to peak out a little bit higher, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. So this car has been, this truck, it's a Colorado, it's been extremely consistent. It has gone 970s on the 800 rear wheel tune-up prior, so we picked up about 100 rear wheel. He's absolutely going to race it and share all of his information and data, of course, so it's nice to see that. The big takeaway is that 100 extra rear wheel is super impressive. I'm kind of blown away with that. The inlet temps looked pretty good from what I could see. This is when we were really leaning on it. We were shooting for the end of the fuel system and the end of everything here. Injector is just totally done. Here he had 1300s in it with 13 degrees, 275 kPa, 25.5 pounds. And we were picking up approximately 22 to 20 horsepower per pound until we got into the mid 25 range, and then it started to nose off, which we could see because back pressure was coming up. Everything was making sense, obviously. So it's a nice upgrade for sure. It'd be crazy to see what this would do on a 4.8. It's something I'm considering as an upgrade for the Mustang, but incredible that this turbo in this size packaging will do 900 rear wheel through a locked auto. It's completely mind-blowing, the fact that it probably could have gone more if we had injector and we just kept pushing it. is the scary thing. Also, if it had a more optimal cam, obviously the Sloppy Stage 2 isn't the most perfect turbo cam, but it does work really well under a lot of circumstances. So that's what it has. It'd be neat to swap this back to back with a more serious setup. I say serious. This is his. It's like a daily driver, capable, air conditioning, everything you can think of. Much nicer clone of my truck, and it has gone 970, like I said already, like 141. I think 141 or 142. So now it should close in on 150 with another 100 horsepower. So awesome to see all of this working. 77% alcohol. Everything doing really good. I mean, I'm not sure really much more we can cover. The other turbo, about 22 pounds of boost netted this, and the 7875 Gen 2, we were able to get, we got 27 pounds out of it, and we weren't out of boost controller. So it's nice to see how far it would go. Some people might not be understanding the discrepancy there. The other turbo completely quit on us. We could not get any more. So this one just kept making boost. It's pretty awesome that it just wanted to keep going. So smaller engine, the horsepower capability should be even higher. How are the inlet temps? The inlet temps were actually pretty good. I don't know why I keep clicking on the snipping tool. Inlet temps were amazing as far as I remember. Let's see on this loaded hit. IAT 104, 105, really very low. 99, 106. So his intercooler's working good. The turbo's working good. So I think he plans to eventually put the Terminator on this car to integrate with the stock computer, or just completely swap the Terminator. It depends on how far he wants to push this truck. It pretty much does everything you can think of right now, considering it's a 9-second truck with air conditioning, and it looks completely unassuming if you look at the photos. So, but I'm incredibly happy to report this 100 horsepower gain. I want to see it on some other vehicles, but that's substantial. The price difference is not that much bigger, and I feel like the spool is the same. Andrew said he feels like it's a little bit laggier, but it comes in harder. I think that's something that has to be tested and felt over multiple vehicles, because the other turbo might not light off as fast or make boost as fast, or any number of things. This turbo the transient might be so good that it seems like it's laggier because it's coming into boost much harder. It feels like you have to wait, or maybe you do have to wait. Who knows? So subjective, but the amount of power that small turbo is capable of, T4, this is mind-blowing to me. Like a T4 turbo making this kind of power years ago and especially for the cost that this thing is, it totally blows my mind. Anyway, super proud of my boy. My favorite turbo ever to this point is the Billet 7875 VS Racing Turbo. So the Gen 2 does not disappoint at all, in my opinion. It's incredible for the money. I don't think you can get anything better. If you are drag racing, or you're all out, or you're looking for that last tenth of a competition buff on top of people who are professionals, you might need something crazy, larger, whatever, but the flexibility and the transient response and the packaging size, the physical size of this turbo, it marks high on like everything. It can do everything. Because I hear plenty of people that are like, man, I just want 500. Most of those people end up wanting 800 or 900, and then they step into where they need a billet 80 and a 5-inch downpipe and all sorts of other stuff. What's incredible is this little flexible 7875 billet Gen 2 will cover the 500 to 900 rear wheel base like this. So enough of me stroking the 7875 Gen 2's ego. It definitely is probably the best turbo you can get for the money and packaging size, period, in my opinion. So we'll end on that. Have a good one. Bye.